Hello, we're back again with another sneak peek at the development of round trip baseball. So I have a couple teams here, and my score sheet's already filled out. So we'll do a little bit of play and see what unfolds. Since the last video, there's been a couple minor tweaks. One of those has been the change to the abilities. So the batters now have three distinct abilities apart from the pitchers. So the pitchers remain the same. Command, heat, composure are their three abilities. For the batters, it's contact, power, and discipline. So what used to be composure on the hitter cards is now discipline, which caused me to go through and make a bunch of changes in the charts and reprint everything and all that kind of stuff in the past couple weeks. So and that also precipitated, is that the right word? A change in the control tables. So we kind of cleaned them up a bit because I don't have to designate batter ability, pitcher ability. Instead, I just list the abilities, and in a short amount of time playing this, you'll know that's a pitcher ability, that's a batter ability, plus they're color coded. So the white ones are pitchers and the grays are batter oriented. All right, what else? A couple little tweaks to the chart, primarily here in the contact table or the contact chart for the batter key actions. All right, now, so this is game 3 of Hub City at Oklahoma City. Hub City is the best hitting team in this 8-team league that I've got. And they've showed it so far in this series. They've won the first 2 games. The first game was on the normal control table, and I think they won it 6-3. And then on the second game was just a Donnybrook, if you will. It was a slugfest. I think there were 6 or 7 home runs hit in that game total. I think 5 of those were by Hub City. However, they had to come roaring back from a 6-run deficit, and they ended up rallying in the 9th to win the game 10-9. So here we go. How's this thing work? Let's just do it a little bit. All right, I roll 12 right off the get-go. That's going to be clutch or batter's best. Well, obviously nobody on base and not 2 out, so it is batter's best. I look down here. I got a 5, 3, and a 7. We're going with the 7, so that's the discipline chart over here. And so we take this 8 rolled, we add it to 7, we get a 15, and he's going to draw a walk unless this pitcher has a composure of 9. He does not. So Breedlove starts off with a walk, and he is a burner on the bases. He's got 8 speed out of 9 possible. So therefore, I have to check to see if he could steal. All right, a 4 or 5 tells me that we are going to add the pitcher's composure with the catcher's arm. In this case, a 4, so 4 and 4 is 8. If those two together had come up, had totaled 10 or more, then it would shave off some speed off of this attempt. But in this case, it does not. We have an average arm, we have average composure, and therefore Breedlove's ability to get a jump is not really deterred much. So we're going to look at the 8 column here. He will only be out on a 1 or a 2, and I rolled a 9. He's going to be safe easily. Yeah. All right, he's in there with a stolen base, and that's how we get started here in game 3 as Chris Elliott and the Oklahoma City Redhawks are trying to avoid a sweep to start their season. Glenn Torbett is up next. 9, heat, 8, 10, 18. That's a strikeout. Don't have to look that up. And he strikes out a very good hitter. But the pressure stays on. Like I said, this Hub City team can hit. So Adam McVicker, also an excellent hitter. With some power, he can draw walks. Clutch or contact. All right, well, it's not clutch. We only have one out, but we do have the runner on. So, therefore, we go with contact, which happens to be his weakest ability. 9 plus 5, very good roll. That's 14 total, and he's got a single. And with one out, that runner will advance one base. Had it been 2 out, he would have scored. There we go. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Chris Elliott here, laboring a little bit. And now he has to face massive power. Cody Hawkins has a power of 9, the hardest hitting batter in this league. I don't think anybody else has a 9. All right, here comes the Hawk. He's a lefty, 2 runners on, and he could really start this off with a bang, couldn't he? And the roll is a 10. Contact. That's his, not his weakest. Contact is 4. He's average at contact. 14 on the contact chart. We know that's another single. We still have 1 out. The runners advance 1 base. And we have a trailing 4 right here. Single and an RBI. And 3 of the first 4 men faced by Chris Elliott have reached base on this day that favors the batters. All right, Jaden Leonard, also an excellent hitter. Really good at contact, but also has power, also has discipline. 11, we're looking at command. 15 on the command table, and that's going to be a pop out. The runners have to hold there. Good job to get Jaden Leonard in that situation. This is a clutch scenario now. 2 out, runners on for Pauly Sotomayor, the left-handed shortstop. 8, composure, 4 plus 10, 14. And he gets him to fly out. It's a shallow fly, and that is going to do it. 2 men stranded, 1 run in, and Hub City stakes a 1-0 lead as Eddie Valley comes out to face the Red Hawks. Orlando Bell, shortstop, leading off. So 5 tells me we're going to contact. 6 plus 1, terrible roll. 7, he pops out. So he can't get the bat squarely on the ball with that one. Center fielder Bobby Cooper. Command. And 4, we're not rolling very well. That's a 10 on the command chart. That's field trouble. This ball is put into play. The fielders have to do something about it. 99, really? Wow. Field trouble, 99. That is right field. Long line drive to right. It's a D10 range check. So the Hub City right fielder has a range of 4. So I have to roll a 0 through 4 in order for him to catch this ball, track it down out in left field, or right field rather. Otherwise, it's a problem. 0 through 3, he's got it. Wow, excellent. Woo, I'm going to put a star there and note that that was a pretty good play made there in right field. All right. Yep, that was Jaden Leonard out there tracking that down. Really had to stretch for it. 2 out, nobody on. And Aaron Mitchell is up next with 11. We're going to command. 12, 18 total is a strikeout. And 1, 2, 3 they go. Hub City leads 1-0. All right. So, like I said, lively action. Could probably have lots of base runners in this game. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. Those videos can get, fairly long, especially with me narrating and explaining everything. But let's see if we can get through another inning here. So we got Maurice O'Neill. He's the designated hitter for Hub City. Command, 6-14, ground out in a routine fashion. And I'm not using them right now, but there are fact cards if you want to designate who gets put outs on all these routine outs. That's just not the way I played the game, but it is an option. Aquinado. Nick Aguinaldo up next. Power 9 is the total result, and he's going to strike out. Could not quite get around on that one. And that brings us to the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Cord Pittner. He's got some pretty good power, he's otherwise pretty average. And it is clutch or batter's best. Well, no runners on, so it's not clutch. So we're going with the batter's best. His best is power, to which we add a 5, so an 11 total, and he will strike out unless the pitcher's heat is very low, 0 through 2. It is not. So, there you go. 1, 2, 3 inning for Elliott. After kind of grinding a bit there in the first inning, Eddie Valley, let's see if he can keep his streak alive with no runners on. Contact 17. That's gonna spoil that. Now this is a single plus result. So basically it's a single with the option to try to stretch for a double. I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll settle with a single. His speed is 5. Had it been a 6 or better, I might have tried to stretch it. So we have a 5 on first, speed wise. Leadoff man is on as Oklahoma City tries to draw even here. Here's Duncan Holloway, the designated hitter for the Red Hawks. Power 3 and plus 6 is 9. That's not good enough. He strikes out. 1 gone. Jeremy Eaton, the first baseman. Composure 15. Ground out, and with the man on first, that is a double play. Bang, bang, DP. So there you go. That's 2 innings in the books. It remains 1-0. And I think you get the idea of how this thing is flowing right now. Maybe I'll fast forward the video. I'll go ahead and play it and then show you how this thing ends. Okay, bring you back in. We are through 5 innings now, and you'll notice I've got this little red token here on Chris Elliott. His fade rating is 5, so he's completed his 5-inning limit, if you will. And at this point, we start to measure or track fade for him. So, top of the 6th, he's up against kind of the middle of the order. Jaden Leonard is up next. So, I roll on a 1 or a 6, he would progress. His fade condition would get worse. So, we're trying to avoid rolling that. He rolls a 5, so contact, that's Leonard's best rating, is the ability, and he rolls a 12. That's a 19 on the contact. That's going to be a double. Bang. So, Jaden Leonard, not a fast guy, but boy, he smoked that ball, and he makes it around to second base. So here we have a leadoff double to a slow runner. And Elliott hasn't even dropped into fade yet. So, it gets you thinking. It's like, well, do I take him out yet? I mean, it's really not his fault. It was just a really well-stroked ball by Leonard. So he goes up against a left-handed Pauly Sotomayor next. Let's go ahead and see what happens. All right. Well, I rolled a 6. So before I even bother looking at anything else, I flip this, and his fade level goes to fade level 1. Now, the control roll was a 7, so that is clutch or contact. It's not clutch. We don't have 2 out. So we're going to go with contact, which is a good rating, 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. All right, contact 8, and I'm going to use the fade column over here. And to look this up, and so normally that would have been a strikeout, but now it is a ball in play, and it's possible trouble for a fielder unless the pitcher's command is 7 or better. And guess what? It is. So that high command rating for Elliott overrules that field trouble result. And now it would be a ground out double play. In this case, it's not a double play. It's treated as a fielder's choice. The runner holds and the batter is out on a ground out. So they get Sotomayor. However, if you're the pitching coach watching Elliott, then maybe you saw something mechanically you didn't like there, and you noticed that Elliott is in fade level 1. Maybe a telltale sign. So instead of me rambling too much, I'm just going to go ahead and substitute for a reliever. So I'll mark this as Chris Elliott's last batter faced. 1 out, 1 on, and let's Will Navarro, no. Let's bring in Caleb Simmons here. He has a fade of 1. And any amount of batters faced in an inning counts as an inning pitch. So, Simmons coming in for Elliott. Elliott goes 5 1/3. And Simmons trying to get through the 6th here. Against Maurice O'Neill, the DH. 6 command is the rating. 7-7 makes a 14, a pretty good roll. And that would also be a ground out double play. It's basically the same result as last time. Turning into a fielder's choice with the runner stuck, scrambling back to second. 2 out, and he's still there at the top of the diamond. And here's Nick Aguinaldo trying to get this runner home. I should have also mentioned that the score is now 2-0 off of a humongous solo home run by the Hawk, Cody Hawkins, back in the 4th. All right, so what did I roll here? Discipline, 4, 10, 14 on discipline, probably get you a walk. And it does, unless composure is high, but it's not. So he pitches carefully to Aguinaldo. And now we have 2 men on. For the power hitting catcher, Cord Pittner. Pittner has already struck out twice. 10 is contact. 3 and 3 is 6. That won't get it done, will it? And that is another ground out that leaves the runner stranded. All right, so you got to see a little bit of fade at work right there. I will go ahead and put a fade marker on Simmons because he's already now met his fade 1 requirement, or limit rather. And here comes Eddie Valley, the starter for Hub City, still pitching with a 2-run lead here in the 6th. His fade rating is 6. So let's see what happens here. Against Dante Andino. Contact, 18 is a leadoff double for him. All right, so now, and Dino, I said double, didn't I? There we go. And Orlando Bell. Now we go back to the top of the order with this runner on. Eddie Valley might have a bit of a situation to deal with here. Last time he had a leadoff runner on, he was able to get out with no damage. All right, power is the result. Well, power is low for Bell, so that's a 12. Total, that's enough for a single unless it's lefty-lefty, and it's not lefty-lefty. That is a single plus. So 1 for the single, and then the plus means that the runner scores. That's a single and an RBI. That also means that Bell, on a 0 through 5, his speed is 6. On a 0 through 5, he could stretch this to a double. Do I do that? Let's take a shot. It's a 1. He is safe. Bell with an RBI double. We have to change that there. I was a little presumptive. 2 consecutive doubles to greet Eddie Valley, and now the tying run is on second base. And man, he's not fading yet, but it feels like he is, right? All right, well, let's see what happens. 5, contact, total of 7 is a pop out. So he gets a little bit of a reprieve there. Maybe Valley can get through this inning after all. But he's got some tough guys coming up here. Aaron Mitchell followed by Glenn Cook. 4, Heat. 2 is a 6. That's not very good. That ball is put into play. It's a field action. That's going to be a tough play for somebody. 44. It's going to be in the infield. Hit to first base. It's a smash. So a potential double down the line. This is a D10 range check at first base for Hub City. 0 through 3. Not very strong fielding over there in that corner. 0 through 3. 7 cannot make the play. It's down the line for a double and an RBI. The tying run scores. Aaron Mitchell with his speed of 6. 6? Did I read that right? Yeah, okay. His speed of 6 is also on second. And that's going to do it, you know, for Eddie Valley. So he never even went to fade, but 3 doubles here have kind of victimized him as he was reaching the end of his fade limit anyway. Now we have a tie ball game all of a sudden, and so I'll mark that as Valley's last batter faced. And tell you what, we'll bring in Aiden Shaw. Pretty tough reliever right here. 6, 7, and 5 are those numbers. And he inherits 1 runner with 1 out. Power is the ability. 11 is the result. That's a strikeout of Glenn Cook. Now we have 2 out. This is a potential clutch situation for Duncan Holloway, the DH, who's struck out twice already. Discipline is what we're looking at. 10 is the result. And that is a field action. Another tough fielding play. Woo, how's that for drama? 10 field action. That is going to be a ground out. We see that fairly often, and I believe that goes to second base. Yeah, ground out to second, and that's the 3rd out. But the damage is done. Eddie Valley struggles there. 2 runs score, bottom of the 6th. This game is now tied at 2. All right, coming back in. I didn't get very far before things got interesting. Well, actually, it's all been interesting. Simmons managed to get through 3 batters, including a double play, without going into fade level 1. Meanwhile, bottom of the 7th, 2 out. We got a man on first here against Aiden Shaw. And I should have picked up the dice. I rolled a 12 for a clutch result. So let's go to this clutch chart and show you that. So when you go to the clutch chart, roll percentile or D100, 75 is the result. That's way down here. The current pitch count is 3-1, runner on first, 2 out. We're going to look at the pitcher's heat rating of 7. And if it's greater than Dante Andino's contact rating of 6, it is greater than, then the result, the true result is a pop out to second base. Otherwise, 75. Otherwise, that would have been a single plus to right field. So that would have been pretty cool too. And what I said was a pop out. All right. At any rate, it's a 3rd out, and that's a look at the clutch chart. All right, here we come to the end. It is the bottom of the 9th. The score is 4-2. Hub City added a couple more runs, another massive home run by Cody Hawkins. His second of the day was a solo shot that gave him the lead 3-2. And then a single by Breedlove, RBI, scored another run and made it 4-2. And so fairly average, kind of low scoring game considering the conditions of the favored batters chart. So we come to the bottom of the ninth, and Hub City brings in their closer, Khalil Jones. Now, Jones pitched yesterday, did an inning. Let me see if he gave a full inning. Yeah, he pitched a full inning yesterday. So all he's going to get today, this is my current thinking on how to handle this. He didn't go into fade, but he was at fade level 0, in other words. So what I'm going to do is give him one batter for free, and then we're going to start tracking it. So he has to face DH Duncan Holloway first with a 2-run cushion. Heat 16. That's a strikeout. Nice job by the powerful Khalil Jones, pitching with authority, and that's his one batter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that on there, and we'll start adding the fade die to the mix. On a 1 or a 6, he'll go to fade level 1. Here's Jeremy Eaton. I rolled a 4 on the fade. Composure is the ability, not his best, but a 14 total. It gets a shallow fly from Eaton with nobody on, and that brings us to R.C. Hayes, pretty decent hitter. Not great for contact, but he's got some power. All right, the third baseman, 2 out, nobody on. Khalil Jones possibly going into fade. And I rolled a 6. So that turns to fade level 1. It would be clutch if there were a runner on, but there's not. There's 2 out, nobody on. And so we're going to go with the batter's best, which is discipline plus 7. Is a 13 result, and he draws a walk unless Khalil Jones' composure is 7 or better, and it's not. It is 4, not his strength. So here is a walk, and the Red Hawks are still alive with R.C. Hayes at first base. Now, as the pitching coach, right? Think about this. You're seeing Jones start to fade. He pitched yesterday, and now he issues this walk. That brings the tying run to the plate in the form of catcher Gil Robbins, who's a decent hitter. Not terrible, not great. I think I have to take him out. Okay, so that's what I like about this mechanic. That's what it does. So Grant Weiserman also pitched yesterday, I believe, but he only faced 1 hitter. All right, but that which still counts as an inning pitch. So in other words, this is the same situation for Weiserman. He gets to face 1 hitter for free, and then after that we add the fade die. 2 out, 1 on. Weiserman versus Robbins. Heat, 4 plus a terrible roll of 1 is 5. That is a single plus. Weiserman just grooves 1 with his fastball, and single plus. Let's see, 2 out, that gets you a free base, and then 1 for the single, and then 1. Let's see, I gave him the free base already. So it's going to put runners at the corners. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to mark that I took KJ out. Robbins and Hayes at the corners. Number 9 hitter Dante Andino at the plate. And Dino 1 for 3 with a double so far today. Facing Grant Weiserman, who is now checking for fade. Ugh. Tough. I rolled a 5. He's safe. The result, composure, 3 plus 11, 14. That's a shallow fly ball. And that ends the game. Weiserman is able to get through it. But I love the tension that fade mechanic brings, because you don't quite know when it's going to hit you.